In a cramped Los Angeles apartment, buried under the city's glittering facade, lived 19-year-old Lena. For her, the world of high fashion wasn't just a dream. It was an escape from the crushing weight of poverty. Every day, she'd flip through glossy magazines, her reflection in the cracked mirror a stark contrast to the supermodels staring back. Yet in her eyes, a fire burned, a promise she made to herself and to the memory of her mother. She believed, with every fiber of her being, that she was destined for the runway. Her reality, however, was a series of closed doors. At a recent casting call, the rejection was swift and brutal. The agent's words, "You don't have the look," echoed in her mind, each syllable a blow to her confidence. As she walked home, the city lights blurred through her tears. The sting of failure brought back a flood of memories. Her mother, frail but smiling, holding an old camera. "You have a light, Lena," she'd said. "Don't ever let anyone dim it." That memory, a beacon in her despair, reignited her resolve. She wasn't just fighting for a dream anymore. She was honoring a legacy. Days later, fueled by a desperate hope, Lena slipped into a local charity gala. It was a world away from her own, filled with champagne and celebrities. Her heart pounded as she spotted her idol, supermodel Kendall Jenner, across the room. This was it. This was her one shot. With trembling hands, she clutched her makeshift portfolio, a collection of raw, unedited photos she'd taken herself. Pushing through her fear, she approached Kendall. The words tumbled out, a nervous, passionate plea. She explained her situation, her dream, her story. Kendall listened, her expression shifting from surprise to genuine interest as she looked through the photos. She saw past the rough edges, past the low-quality prints. She saw the same hunger, the same raw talent she once had. Impressed by Alina's vulnerability and sheer determination, Kendall smiled and handed her a small card with a number. It was a contact for a top-tier modeling agency. That single act of kindness was the key that unlocked her future. Flash forward a year, the lights are blinding, the music thumps, and walking down the runway with unshakable confidence is Lena, no longer a girl with a dream, but a star who fought her way into the light.
Lena had finally made it. The new apartment was proof, a silent testament to a life she once only dreamed of. Yet, surrounded by the sterile beauty of her success, a deep sense of unease settled in. The life she had fought so hard for felt alien, a costume she wasn't sure how to wear. Fear, cold and sharp, became her constant companion, whispering that she didn't belong here. Her agent saw this vulnerability not as a weakness, but as an opportunity. The industry craved authenticity, but only a certain kind. So began the transformation. Lena was molded, her soft edges chiseled away to reveal a darker, edgier persona. Days blurred into a montage of photo shoots and fittings, each click of the camera stripping away another piece of who she was. Her reflection became a stranger, her smile a carefully constructed lie for the masses. The pressure mounted, a suffocating weight that threatened to crush her. At a lavish party, surrounded by the beautiful and the damned, the illusion shattered. A famous designer, with a careless flick of their wrist and a thoughtless comment about her weight, delivered the final blow. The words, though casually spoken, hit her like a physical strike. The room began to spin, the laughter and music fading into a dull roar. In a haze of panic, she fled to a quiet corner, her hands shaking as she dialed a number she never thought she'd use. Kendall Jenner's voice on the other end was a lifeline in a stormy sea. Through choked sobs, Lena confessed her desperation, her feeling of being utterly lost. Kendall listened, her voice calm and steady, and shared a truth that cut through the noise. She spoke of the industry's insatiable hunger, its power to consume and discard. The most powerful word, she explained, was no. A word of defiance, of self-preservation. As the call ended, Lena stood alone, the city lights twinkling below. The advice hung in the air, a choice laid bare before her. Continue to fade into the person they wanted her to be, or find the strength to say no and reclaim herself. The path forward was uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, the city lights blurred into in a quiet garden, away from the world's demanding gaze. A young model named Lena found herself in the company of Kendall Jenner. The air was still, a gentle contrast to the storm of her public life. Here, amidst the calm, two souls connected, not as celebrities, but as people navigating the often turbulent waters of fame. As they walked side by side, Kendall's voice was a soft melody of understanding. She spoke of her own journey, the unseen battles fought behind the bright lights and flashing cameras. She described the immense pressure, the constant scrutiny, and the challenge of holding on to oneself when the world tries to define you. In her words, Lena heard her own unspoken fears echoed back. It was a profound moment of validation, a quiet assurance that she was not alone in her struggle. The weight on her shoulders began to feel a little lighter, knowing someone else truly understood. Kendall then shared a piece of wisdom that would change everything for Lena. She explained that vulnerability isn't a weakness to be hidden, but a source of incredible strength. True power, she said, isn't about enduring every hardship thrown your way. It's about learning to set boundaries, to protect your own peace, and to define success on your own terms. It's about choosing what you let in and what you keep out. This was a revelation for Lena. She had always believed resilience meant bearing the unbearable, but Kendall showed her that true resilience is about knowing when to say no, when to step back, and when to put yourself first. As their conversation drew to a close, Kendall smiled and reminded Lena of something she had said when they first met, a small but powerful observation. In that moment, everything clicked into place. Lena looked around the garden, no longer feeling like just a model lost in the industry, but like a young woman who had finally found her voice. She understood that success wasn't just about the photo shoots or the runways. It was about this quiet strength, this self-awareness, this power to define her. From the depths of personal pain, a powerful movement was born. With her friend Kendall by her side, Lena channeled her hurt into action, creating the Model Protection Platform. It was more than just a website. It was a beacon of hope, a safe harbor for those who felt voiceless and alone. What started as a personal crusade quickly grew into a collective roar. A community demanding change in an industry that had long ignored their pleas. The platform became a testament to her resilience, a symbol that one person's courage could ignite a revolution. The industry began to listen. An invitation arrived, a request for Lena to speak at the prestigious International Fashion Summit. This wasn't just another event. It was the global stage, the very heart of the world she sought to change. Fear and doubt swirled, but the drive to protect others was stronger. She accepted, knowing this was her chance to turn whispers into a resounding call for action. This was no longer just her story. It was the story of countless others, and she was determined to tell it. The moments before she stepped onto the stage felt like an eternity. The air backstage was thick with anticipation. Kendall gave her a final, reassuring nod, a silent reminder that she wasn't alone. Taking a deep breath, Lena walked into the spotlight. The auditorium was vast, filled with the most influential figures in fashion. Her voice, though trembling at first, grew steady and strong as she spoke her truth. She didn't just recount her pain. She demanded accountability, she called for systemic change, and she envisioned a future where safety and respect were the foundation of the industry. When she finished, a moment of silence hung in the air, thick with the weight of her words. Then it broke. A single person began to clap, then another, and another, until the entire hall erupted in a wave of thunderous applause. It was a standing ovation not just for her speech, but for her courage. In that moment of shared acknowledgement, something shifted. The final scene wasn't backstage or in a boardroom. It was back on the runway. As Lena took her place, she walked with a newfound power. She was no longer just a model displaying clothes. She was a leader, a change maker. Her every step a testament to her purpose. She had reclaimed her space, not as a victim, but as a victor, forever changing the face of fashion. Thanks for watching. If her story moved you, please like and subscribe for more inspiring content.